The end of the Monday Night War was a fascinating time to be a wrestling fan. Who would be a part of the initial takeover? Who would make the jump to WWE after their Time Warner contracts had ended? And who would be banished forever? On the women's side, stars such as Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson immediately made their presence known. In fact, Stacy Keibler was one of the first WCW stars to ever appear on WWE programming. But some of WCW's biggest female names never made the trip to Stanford, and not just in the Attitude Era. I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling, and let's take a look at the top WCW female stars who never made the jump to WWE. And before we jump into this, if you enjoy this content, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and Boston Crab the notification bell. Number 1. Kimberly Page. Diamond Dallas Page was one of the first WCW stars to make an appearance on WWE television after the launch of The Invasion. And weirdly, the master of the Diamond Cutter was cast as a creepy stalker, lusting after Sarah Undertaker, the wife of just plain Undertaker. We say that this characterization was weird because, while he was stalking Sarah, it was well established that he was going home to one of professional wrestling's most beautiful women of all time, Kimberly Page. The former Diamond Doll, former Nitro Girl, former Booty Babe. Yeah, Booty Babe. It was a thing. Kimberly had been a popular performer over the years, leading a dance troupe, feuding with Miss Elizabeth and Stacy Keibler, and managing such talents as Dallas Page himself, Johnny B. Bad, and the Booty Man. See? Booty Babe, Booty Man. Totally a thing. While Page was quick to make the jump to WWE, even foregoing his Time Warner contract to appear as quickly as possible, Kimberly never showed up. Instead, she tried her hand at acting, and her most successful thing was a, unforgettable cameo. Number 2. The Nitro Girls. Speaking of Kimberly Page, one of the most memorable ingredients to the dominance of Monday Night Nitro was when they'd return from commercial to show the beloved Nitro Girls gyrating in the ring. The rotating cast of delectable dancers never failed to get the crowd fired up for the next bout, and it's safe to say that every wrestling fan had a personal favorite. For example, old Senor Siete here was a Che guy. A few of the Nitro Girls have appeared on WWE programming, namely Whisper, who would marry Shawn Michaels and appear as his wife Rebecca, Storm, who would marry Booker T and appear as his wife under her real name Sharmell, and whoever this person is. But the majority never made it to the bright lights of WWE. This includes AC Jazz, Baby, My Beloved Che, Chameleon, like the Mortal Kombat character? Chiquita, Fire, Gold, Silver, Naughty A, Spice, Star, Siren, Teo, and Tigress. Which is a shame because for all the nostalgia acts that WWE has brought in over the years, it'd be fun to see the Nitro Girls show up as the SmackDown Girls, if only for one night. And while we're on the subject, let's be honest, every one of those names would make an awesome Mortal Kombat character. Number 3. Missy Hyatt. If Miss Elizabeth was the biggest female name of the 80s, we're comfortable making the argument that Missy Hyatt was a close second. The blonde bombshell known for swinging a loaded Gucci purse was one of the biggest heels in world-class championship wrestling, as well as the original UWF. From there, she jumped to WCW where she managed her then-husband, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, the Steiner Brothers, and the Nasty Boys, to name a few. Also, she had popular feuds with other personalities like Medusa Maselli and Paul E. Dangerously. And, contrary to the premise of this whole video, she was signed by the WWE at one point and given her own talk show known as Missy's Manor. In a similar vein to Piper's Pit, the segments consisted of Hyatt interviewing some of the organization's biggest stars. However, the segments were a little odd. She was a babyface interviewing, kind of poking fun at heels for some reason. It just didn't work. And in the days before the internet, most WWE fans didn't even know who Missy Hyatt was. So, the tapes were shelved, Hyatt never debuted on WWE TV, and she returned to WCW. Number 4. Pamela Paulshock. Well, this name is certainly a blast from the past. Pamela Paulshock, the bikini model turned backstage interviewer, was one of the most prominent females on the roster during the dying days of Turner's WCW. And in true late WCW form, the untrained backstage interviewer even participated in at least one match, teaming up with who better than Kanyon against Buff Bagwell and his mother Judy. Yep, weird. That train wreck aside, Paulshock did have a memorable angle or two, including the time she won a bikini contest that she wasn't even participating in. Ha ha ha, a screw job during a bikini contest. Tell me Vince Russo was booking without telling me Vince Russo was booking. Alas, Pamela would never hold court backstage in WWE, instead focusing on her acting career, which saw her land small roles in shows like The X-Files and movies like Big Fat Liar. Number 5. Gorgeous George. Nah, not that Gorgeous George. We're referring to Stephanie Bellers, the buxom blonde that accompanied the Macho Man Randy Savage to the ring during the tail end of his WCW career. One of the highest-ranking members of Team Madness, Bellers even stepped into the ring on pay-per-view to defeat WCW referee Charles Little H. Robinson. Savage would come and go from the promotion in the latter years and wasn't on the active roster by the time WWE purchased WCW. And while many wrestlers made the jump back to WWE, the Macho Man seemed to be the one wrestler Vince McMahon held a true grudge against. And while we're 99% positive it isn't for the reason that everyone seems to want it to be, it did exist. We live in an era of WWE-branded Macho Man DVDs, t-shirts, and action figures, but for quite a while he was persona non grata up in Stamford. So, Bellers would make appearances in ECW and NWA TNA and independent groups over the years, but her only experience with WWE were interview segments during Randy Savage's biography episode that aired on A&E. Number 6. Major Guns. Oh, you can almost hear Vince Russo in the pitch meeting. Bro, I've got a killer idea. We take some mid-carders, give them punny names with a vague military gimmick. We're going to turn Huge Morris into General Erection, which is short for Huge Erection. The Wall will be AWOL. Lash LaRue, he can be Captain Cajun. And Chavo Guerrero, we're going to call him Lieutenant Loco. Haha, alliteration is tight. Van Hammer will be known as Major Stash, and I know what you're thinking. That isn't a pun. The name that makes sense is Private Stash, but he doesn't want to have such a low rank in our make-believe tie-dye army. And finally, bro, and this is the best part, we get a woman with a special large endowment, and we call her, get this bro, Major Guns. And that's exactly what they did. Bikini, and sometimes less model, Tylene Buck was brought into the fold and unsurprisingly became quite popular, feuding with Stacy Keibler in an ROTC mud match, which ROTC, of course, stands for Rip Off the Camo, Classy, before eventually turning her back on the Misfits and joining Team Canada. However, Gunn vanished after WWE purchased WCW. Well, maybe not vanished, that's probably not the right word, but she definitely ended up on some sites that we are not comfortable discussing here. Number 7. Medasia. Scott Steiner's second most famous ringside companion, the first being a live friggin' tiger, was beautiful brunette fitness model Medasia. Originally an NWO girl along with Tylene Buck and April Hunter, Medasia became Scott Steiner's main freak. And that's not me calling her a freak. Scott Steiner coined that term. Man, what an innovator. So impressive. Medasia would even appear with Steiner on the very last episode of Monday Nitro when he dropped his WCW World title to Booker T. However, Steiner himself wouldn't make the jump to McMahon for another year and a half. And when he finally did make an appearance, he did it without his main freak. Again, his words, not mine. Holla if you hear me. Well, that's our list. Did we leave out any WCW women who never made the jump to WWE? If so, leave them in the comments section below. Also, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and double underhook powerbomb that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Senior Siete, your main freak for 7 Wrestling, saying bye-bye.